Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement 2. I almost forgot the 2 there. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this thing here. It's one of those little cheap retro gaming consoles in the shape of a Game Boy. I got this from AliExpress. I was buying a few things off AliExpress as one does, and I saw this. It was on sale, so I grabbed it. Today I wanted to, well, pull it out of the box, take a look at what you get for the whopping price of, if you can believe it, $3.99, including shipping. A red retro classic games children's handheld single edition red for $3.99. Kind of boggles my mind that it's possible to get stuff that cheap, but I think that was on extreme sale and it's actually a little bit more expensive. Let's take a look at the current listing. Well, it looks like it's currently $9.88. This is the same seller that I bought it from. Free shipping, so it's less than a couple cups of coffee. Again, kind of amazing that something can be manufactured in a box, probably has some cables or whatever in there. I think it has a lithium-ion battery, all for that cheap of a price, and then shipped halfway across the planet. According to the listing, just because we are going to turn this thing on and just validate what's in here, it says 400 classic games in one, almost certainly like 99.99999% sure this is just going to be an NES, like a single chip implementation of a Nintendo Entertainment System. 400 classic games in one, so yeah, it's a whole bunch of pirated games. There's probably going to be like 30 games repeated over and over again. Maybe we'll be surprised and there'll actually be some decent stuff. Scrolling down, it says good touch on keys. Yeah, very skeptical about that for something so cheap. Small body, easy to carry, fits in your pocket, sure, that I could believe. Soft light color screen, large screen, sustainable play. 400 classic games, direction keys. Looks like we got the good old micro USB, so we're talking about high quality. There's the box, which matches what we have right here. There's the console, a USB charging cord. We have an AV cable for the audio video out, and the good old Nokia lithium-ion battery that is in so many things. I wonder, when Nokia designed that battery, I don't know the first phone to use that exact battery, did they realize that in 2024, stuff would still be made using the exact same battery today? Kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? Back to the listing, it says some data are derived from laboratory measurements, but due to changes in the objective environment, the data may be different or inaccurate. Is that like 400 games? That's their disclaimer, that it's gonna be inaccurate? Item type, electronic pet. Electric game / Tetris game from mainland China. Okay. Now, it goes without saying that this is an unlicensed product, so any types of games on here are almost certainly pirated and, well, you know, put on here in a less than legal fashion, especially if they are licensed Nintendo games, because Nintendo is very serious about protecting its patents. The NES portion of this, that's out of patent, so you can clone the NES to your heart's content, but the software is a different story. So just throwing that out there in case anyone was under any kind of illusions that this was somehow above board, this product. But even though it's not, these are still readily available. I'm sure you can still buy this exact thing off Amazon, for instance, and not just direct from China like I did. Now let's just quickly take a look at this box here. Support external gamepad, double against. I don't think it came with a second gamepad, so there's no way for the 2-player mode, but I'm surprised that that's even possible. Maybe it plugs into the USB port. A little port description, TV out, adapter in, power, reset, volume, blah, blah, blah. Looks like this comes in various colors. Red is what I got, obviously, but you could get it in those ones as well. That's all we got on the box. Let's see the high quality merchandise that we have in here. We know this thing is gonna be super duper top quality. Well, there it is. Cheapest plastic known to man. Am I talking about this or am I talking about this? Well, I was talking about this, but to be honest, I mean, you know what? It could be worse. We got the AV cable. We got the crappiest, thinnest USB cable, also known to man. I would never use this for anything, so that's just going straight into the trash. Popping the battery cover off, there's the Nokia battery. Now, a lot of times when you get these, they install this upside down, for instance, so that it's not even connected to the battery consoles, because it does fit in either way. They didn't do that in this case. BL5C. That was the model number that I completely forgot about. Of course, this is not made by Nokia, but it is fully compatible from a dimensional standpoint. I think the connections as well. 3.7 volts, and it claims to be 1020 milliamp hours. We have a little Easter egg there. I'm just trying to get it visible in the camera. Obviously, this is in the molding. It's just like a little picture of a little character of some kind. I can barely see it with my own eyes, so I don't know if the camera is picking it up. Probably not. Now, the screen does have a peel on it. Doesn't have a little pull tab, but I'm just gonna do the peel myself. Looking around the edges, it's absolutely what we expected. Power switch, micro USB, AV jack, nothing. A tiny little volume knob. For whatever reason, we have 4 buttons. We have a D-pad. I don't know, this must be like a menu button or something. The feel, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it could be worse. I don't know. It works. It will play. It's not terrible. And considering for the price, $3, it's got a screen and a battery and whatever circuitry inside, pretty amazing. Okay, so there it is. I'm just listening to the music here. So we have Chinese and English. I have a feeling you'll have to select that every time. Looks like I actually scratched up the screen a little bit there. Now, a few observations. The LCD screen, well, it's not horrible. It doesn't have terrible viewing angles, and it's set up to be pretty much easy to see when you're viewing it at the angle you would probably hold this thing at. Let's just quickly start a game. I'm gonna plug this into the AV out here so we can capture the video. Aspect ratio, it just looks freaking horrible. Absolutely horrible. There's some really crappy scaling going on here on the screen, that is, and it's probably gonna be fine with the AV out, but that does not look good at all. Okay, so the music is way too fast. My only assumption is that, I don't actually know why it would be too fast. Let's turn the volume down a little bit here. So I think the problem is this is probably a PAL ROM and it's running at NTSC speeds. We'll find out when we plug the AV cable in if we're getting 60 hertz output. But the music's way too fast. There's some tearing on the scrolling as well. I guess I didn't expect greatness or anything. I mean, it's oh boy. All right, well, let's plug in this AV cable here and let's capture some video off this thing. I mean, it's kind of a turd, but I bought it on a whim. I really didn't think that this was going to be any good. I really didn't. So let's see how the Retro Tank handles the video output on this thing. Okay, so the Retro Tank is connected, as you can see, and the LCD screen shuts off when you do plug it in. But take a look at the output, 60.1 hertz, which is exactly what a real NES is. So this thing absolutely, I don't think is emulation. This is really just running an NES on a chip implementation. These cables are so thin and crappy. I mean, it's amazing that it's even working at all. Anyhow, like I said, an actual NES on a chip implementation. Interesting how it shows the buffer lag at 2 milliseconds. But it's actually quite a lot worse for me right now because I'm watching it through the capture system and OBS. So for me, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to actually play this game. Now moving this cable around, we get a little bit of jitter on this picture. Let me just back out of the menu there. I hopefully just, well, it does that. Just try to ignore it. All right, I have the audio hooked up. If I hit this button here, it's absolutely the reset button. Let's get to the main menu here, start. Okay, so scaling on this menu looks perfect. So it's kind of as we imagined. This is just native NTSC, NES on a chip coming right out. I don't know how this screen is hooked up to it, but it must be some terrible implementation that doesn't scale properly or whatever. I'm just checking my OBS settings. It does seem I'm capturing the audio. I think it's on a separate channel though, so I can actually isolate that and we can hear just that. So yeah, I'll try to do that in post, but I wouldn't be surprised if the output of this device is quite noisy. But I'm listening on the speakers through a pass-through. So anyways, that's a little technical behind the scenes thing. So yes, as I mentioned, Super Mario Brothers, I have a feeling this is a PAL ROM and it's running on NTSC. It just means everything's gonna play too fast because Nintendo slowed down not only the gameplay, but also the music so it would work properly, or they sped it up so that running at 50 hertz on PAL, it was gonna play correctly. Let's see. Yeah, the music is super fast, but yeah, it's quite difficult for me to play through the OBS. We can see the video was freaking out a little bit because of this cheap audio connector. Oh yeah, the sounds are so wrong. What is that? Oh, it all sounds so weird, but this could be a side effect of, again, PAL-ROM on NTSC. It all sounds completely wacky. It's very difficult to play, and the video keeps doing this thing. I mean, it's not like there's a need for Deoxit on a thing that's basically brand new. All right, so let's look at the games a little bit here. So Mario 14, really? Now I know there's some, yeah, it's like a Chinese, I've seen this before on other of these systems. So it's some kind of a clone Mario game, not the real thing. I think they took some other game and then they changed it. I don't really know the history behind this game, but it seems to be on all of these multi-carts that come out of China. Like Mario has a hockey stick or something. They just replaced some sprites. I've tried to play it before, not a good game. So Mario 3, do we think this is actually Super Mario Bros. 3? It is! Look at that. Well, they took away the banner. All right, speed-wise, this is playing at the correct speed. The audio sounds weird to me. I'm gonna stop talking for a sec. All right, so it's a little difficult to play again through the OBS. There's so much lag. I mean, I'm no speedrunner, but I'm pretty good at Super Mario Brothers. So it feels like some of the audio channels are maybe swapped around on this thing. So like the coin sound, it just sounds wrong. Like the tone's coming out wrong. So I don't know. Now let's get out of here. So that's cool. So we have, at least we have Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2. Oops. Okay. So that's weird. The Chinese menu has music. Now the first one here was Super Mario Brothers on the English one. It still is. But look at this. When I go to English, there's no music. So this is obviously Super Mario Brothers 3. In fact, Mario Brothers, those two symbols there, that must be Mario Brothers, like whatever the Chinese version of it. So it definitely seems like we have exactly the same thing. So Dr. Mario, actual Dr. Mario. Cool, okay. Yep, so that seems to be the real deal. I assume this is the Mario Brothers, the original Mario Brothers. Yes, it is. Mr. Mary. Yeah, that's your way of getting around Nintendo's lawyers. Change the title. Yeah, quite a good implementation of this. The NES is actually pretty decent at this game. And I'm not though. Okay, I immediately died, so we'll exit out because I'm no game review channel because I'm terrible. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yep, okay, but it's the Japanese version, I guess. It's got the right music though. None of these sound like they have. Yeah, the music sounds different a little bit. Again, I think it's those tones. Kind of a banging track, to be honest. I always like this track. All All right, Contra 1, do we have the real Contra? At least like it seems like this first page is mostly filled with real stuff, except Contra 7, that sounds fake, and Mario 14 is obviously some fake game, but Contra 1 and Contra 4, okay, I ran Contra 1, and it gave us this, like another multi-cart. See this? Okay, so we have the real Contra, and I'm sure this is gonna be the US version. Which country had... Which country had like zombies or something, or was different? Was it Germany or was that in Europe? I'm never very good at this particular game. Ah. Whoops. Anyways, that's the real deal. But how interesting that it's a multi-cart in a multi-cart. So we go to Contra 1. So what's Contra 2? It's just the same thing. Okay, and my assumption is these are all just Contra, you know, the original Contra game. Yep. Let's just try this one that says shotgun. Is it like a modded version or something? Like a cheat code has been applied? Start out in the jungle. Oh, did we just have 30 men left? Oh yeah, okay, so these have like cheats pre-applied. So makes the game a whole lot easier. I think we have 30 men remaining as well. So how about Contra Force? Do we actually have Contra Force? We do have Contra Force, okay. So I don't remember the exact story behind this game. Was this game like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this was developed as a different game in Japan and then never got released. So they released it in the US and they called it Contra Force. I think something like that, and this takes place in a different time period. I just saw a review of this game, and they were saying how one thing that's kind of cool about it is everything is destructible, but one thing that's not cool about it is you have these extreme slowdown, and it has those suitcases there. You pick up the suitcases, and then it's like Gradius-style power-ups, where along the bottom there, you know, as you pick up the suitcases, it goes to these different weapons, and you hit select to select your weapon. The slowdown is unbelievable, though, and obviously the game was unfinished, unoptimized, and I mean, this was, as far as I'm aware, an actual released game, too, which is terrible. All right, how about Contra 7? What is this? I don't know. Super Contra 7 from 1996. So this is like a homebrew thing or something, I guess. All right, so yep, some kind of run and gun here. Someone will recognize this, I'm sure. I don't. But wow, my character was not visible? At least to me it wasn't. All right, so a couple observations. Video quality is quite good. I plugged into a CRT. This is gonna look and sound good. I mean, other than the sound being weird, it's the video quality. Yeah, I mean, we're getting proper, clear NTSC output. It doesn't look overblown. It's not too dim. The colors are, you know, correctly saturated for what you get on an NTSC NES. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. I've reviewed one of these in the past. It was definitely more expensive than this, and I remember having to do a mod inside because the video output was not good quality. But this looks good. Kage, I think that's how you pronounce this. Is yeah, this seems like we get a lot of the same games on these like illegal multi-carts that exist for the NES. It's kind of interesting. This game, I can't really remember the... Oh, it's a pretty good game, I have to say. Yeah, I like this game. I have a multi-cart that I use sometimes on my NES at home, or upstairs. And you can like, yeah, I'm already forgetting how the mechanics, but you can hook onto things. Yep, there we go. You can go up to the upper levels, and it's pretty fun. It doesn't have a lot of slowdown. Seems like a decent game. So far we haven't seen any repeats. We've just seen a few crap games. All right, so we have Adventure Island Dad. Adventure Islands, obviously this is that Hudson Soft game. Yeah, and it's the Japanese version. So I had this game when I was a kid, and so the music sounds a bit weird because like the audio output on this clone chip is just not quite right. But I had this actual cartridge as a kid, and my mother bought it for me, and I'm sure I asked for it too. And I played a lot of this game because you didn't have a lot of games back then. I only had a few NES cartridges. I was not a fan of this game at all. Like, you know, I tried to play it because I had to, because I didn't have a lot of other games, but it used to drive me absolutely crazy. Now, they made several of these games, so obviously it was pretty popular, but it just used to drive me crazy. Okay, well anyways, yeah, this brings back memories of being infuriated with this game. It really does. Chip 'n Dale 3. Yeah, I think this is a real thing. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. No. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I mean, is this Chip 'n Dale 3? No, it's... What is this? No freaking way. 1995? There was no new games being released for the NES in 1995, were there? What kind of junk is this? What is this? Terrible is what this is. We have Bubble Bobble 2. Where's Bubble Bobble 1? That's the one that people really want to play. But this looks like the real deal here. Yep. Yeah, alright. This is definitely Bubble Bobble 2. Bubble Bobble, I had a lot of fun with that game back in the day when I was a kid. There we go. Just the 2 one is a nice, like, improved version. Brush Roller. You know, it's interesting. We've actually gotten into the alphabetical. It's all alphabetical here. So Burger Time. Is there a real Burger Time for the NES? Yeah, I guess there is. You know, some of these, I guess I was unaware that they existed. The real deal. It is Burger. It's Burger Time. Now, of course, it goes without saying that there's going to be, like, you know, 20, 50 copies of these same games over and over again. But at least it has some decent games on here. You know, there's the classic Pac-Man game. Here's Millipede. It was like at the top on that last page there. Not bad. I mean, it's Millipede. You don't have a trackball, so it's not as good to play as the real thing. Here's one called Nibbles. And it's from 2001, so this must be a homebrew. You can fetch the source code. Yeah, clearly it's illegally packaged homebrew. Looks like Snake. Yeah, it is. Oh, good old Nokia Snake. You're picking up apples here. Let's see. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. There we go. Press start. Got through a level. You die if you hit the walls. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, how about this game? Raid O Bungling. Raid on. I mean, it's a real game. The title of the menu is so screwed up. I'm not really familiar with this game. We have an aircraft carrier. Oh, a helicopter game. Got it. It's pretty jerky scrolling, I gotta say. Let's try Devil World. Okay, this is a Japanese only game. I totally love it because it's so wacky. The whole idea is you gotta eat these pellets and you carry around this cross and you have to stay away from that line there. Let's see, I gotta pick up a cross though. Because without the cross you can't eat the pellets. This game was never released in the US, probably because it would infuriate people, and there are ice cream cones that fly around. Oh, and I shouldn't have hit that guy. Let's try again. Ice cream cone, yeah! If you have a chance to play this, I recommend trying it out. No, 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 I got squished. Yeah, because the devil at the top there, he's moving the world around. The whole thing is just so crazy. I love this though. I just love that it was never released here. And, you know, you have to wonder why, right? All right, so Bomberman at 352, and we have Burger Time at 355. Didn't we see those already? There's Bomberman at 39, and Burger Time at 42. So yeah, we're already seeing, and there's Devil World as well, and Dig Dug and Defender. These are, you know, it's definite lots and lots of repeating. Galaga, Galaxian, Raid on Bungalow, whatever, Ice Climber. Load Runner, Mappy. I mean, everything is repeating here. There's Pac-Man, Puyan, Popeye, Sky Destroyer. These are some we hadn't seen yet. 1942, Warehouse Boy. What could that possibly be? What is this? What is this? What? It's got like a corrupted slowdown. I have a feeling, because this looks like it's in Cyrillic here, that this is designed for 50 hertz and not 60. So this game probably doesn't work correctly here. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just pushing start. What do we have to do? Push the boxes around? Yes. Oh, it's just one of those puzzle games, just like on the TV that I did on the main channel. We have to get all those boxes back into that upper area. I'm trying to point the screen, but you can't see it. Yeah, you got to get all the 6 boxes up here. And I think I already screwed myself. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, yep, well, I obviously screwed myself there. Yeah, you have to kind of go around. So first we would do this. It's really slow how it works. So this kind of thing. So you push them all in there one by one. So it does look like the first 100 games on here are actual legit games. I mean, there's a bunch of, well, there's some silly things in there. Is that Nibbles game? Yeah, there's Nibbles. Okay, so Nibbles is there. So clearly some of these are homebrew, some of them are releases from other countries, things like that. But it's a legit 100 games. 1942, let's see what happens. Oh, there's more than 100. Arkanoid is, I don't recall seeing Arkanoid. Maybe it was here. Let's just go back. No, Arkanoid is not there. So let's just see if Arkanoid is for real. It is. I was just watching Games Done Quickly 2024, and I watched someone beat this game, and the US version of Arkanoid on the NES, you need a better controller, one that lets you move more quickly than the D-pad does. But this game apparently is one of the most difficult games, and most people can only get to like the 3rd level after trying a few times. And there are 32 levels or something like that on here. And yep, this person was able to beat the game. Incidentally, pushing the buttons skips by 50. So if you want to quickly get over here, it's just 2 buttons of the bottom one here. And then left and right moves by 10. So for instance, there's Dig Dug 1, and then it goes to Donkey Kong. And if we go way up here, oops, I went a little too far. There's Dig Dug 2, which I'm assuming is the second Dig Dug, right? Yes, it is. This thing has way more games than I assumed it would have. I'm actually honestly surprised. All right, we're on the 120s here. Hexa, Lot, Mega Max, Pikachu. I mean, some of these have just got to be fake. Cubake. What is Cubake? What the? What happened to that poor dog? Tetris 2. You know, none of these ever have the original Tetris. I wonder why. This is a fake version of Tetris, that's for sure. Well, certainly, I mean, I think it's fake. It's certainly not the NES version, but maybe this is the 10-gen version. Didn't have their name on it there. Back in the 140s, Thexter. It's the real Thexter. You know, I don't even know if I knew this game was on the NES. I'm sure it is. Wow. I played the heck out of this on my Apple II and then my 2GS. Funny how small the sprites are. They're so little compared to the computer versions. Xevious is on here, Spy vs. Spy. I mean, we're in the 150s. I don't think there's been any repeats. There's definitely been crap mixed in here, but no repeats. I'm really, really surprised. 194 Bubble. Is this Bubble Bobble? Nope. Don't know what the deal is with this game, but this is not Bubble Bobble, that's for sure. I can't seem to fly. All I can do is shoot bubbles at the fish. What a terrible game. Well, okay, we're in the 200s here, and this stuff is just, it's junk. I don't think there's repeats, at least not yet, but what is this stuff? This is like the real weird start. Okay. It's like an Arkanoid clone. But you're supposed to hit the diamond, is that the idea? Oh, I got catch. Okay, yeah, this is total shovelware. Total shovelware. You're in the 250. What is this stuff? What is this stuff? Another Tetris version. How do I drop the piece? The buttons don't. I can rotate, that's it. Down, up, left, right. Oh, I was in pause mode, okay. Oh, what? No, this is a horrible game. The control is terrible. Wow. Oh, no. So here we are in the 200s. Again, not seeing any repeats. I am utterly shocked at this. All this stuff, or almost all this, is, you know, lost hits of the Nintendo console that you never really want to play. But it doesn't look like repeats yet. I'm sure there will be. It's just we haven't hit them yet. So that's the 240s. There's the 250s, 260s, 270s. Police Dog Lacey. What is this stuff? I gotta have a drink here. What? I'm not controlling that. I'm supposed to be the dog? I'm supposed to come out and bite that thing? Okay, here we go. So what I have to, oh, I think I was supposed to memorize like where the thief was, and then I could sniff out the thief. Or dig out his, okay, you're supposed to dig out, yes, where he buried stuff. So it's a memory game. Okay. All right, here's one called Busy Bar. Is this gonna be Tapper? That'd be sweet. No, it's not. It's a drinking game. It's to teach your kids drinking. No. So it's like Tapper in a way. You're supposed to send the drink to the right person. I went off the end. See, there's a min-max bar there. So you need to learn how to gauge the, oh, he was unhappy customer. There we go, I finally got a customer. Oh, Power Robot, Pulverization, Rabbit Village. Scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Is this real Spider-Man games here? Nope, these are fake. It's obviously by the same developer, because that start screen with the number of lives looks exactly the same on all of these. So I can go up and down, I can shoot. Wow, it moves very quickly. All right, so here we are, 290s. Again, no repeats, but junk, all junk. Puzzle, Shot Put, Orchard, Mario. Okay, there's the repeats. There we go. So 314. I assume everything here will be exactly, yeah, this is exactly what we've seen already. Let's try the last game in the ROM, Goblet Tower, number 313. There it is, we got a mouse pointer. Is this like Towers of Hanoi, basically? Yeah, I think it is. So there's a whole lot of back and forth here to keep making space. Put this over here temporarily. There. Okay, so now we can move this here. I mean, where's the challenge in this game, honestly? Where is the challenge? All right, so you're supposed to be able to do that in 31 and I did 51. So, okay, I mean, it could be a lot worse. It's too bad it's missing classics. Like, why is this Mario 14 garbage there as opposed to Super Mario Brothers 2, the American version? Why is the original Bubble Bobble missing? It'd be nice if that was there. Of course, Bionic Commando is always missing. One of the best games there is on the NES, in my opinion at least. It'd be nice if it had the NES version of Tetris. I mean, there's a whole lot of games that it would be nice if it had, but it's not all bad. It actually has 313 unique games on it. So that could be a whole lot worse. All right, well, let's power this thing off and let's take a look on the inside. Let's just see what's happening inside of this thing. I'm gonna be pretty sure that we're just gonna see a blob in here, and the blob handles the video output, handles the controllers. So if you're wondering if there's a way to, like, say, wire up a regular NES controller, like one of the actual shift register type, I doubt it. Not to the joystick 1 input. Okay, so there's our little tiny speaker, and we do have a speaker grill there. The little power switch fell out there. We've got a screw. Let's just get this out. This construction looks very similar to the one that I looked at. I mean, this was a number of years ago on the channel, so I don't think much has changed other than the price has just gotten so much cheaper. So there it is. Let's just see how this is all connected up. Whoa, this is a little different. So we actually have a flash chip there of some kind. Just get the LCD screen removed and just flip that little connector up. That just pops out. So there's the part number, 36L0T705. I'll have to look that up. Pretty shocking. This thing actually has 16 megabytes of flash memory, and it also contains 4 megs of SRAM. Really capable little chip. So look at the date on there, 2023, and the date is actually October 20th. Now take a look here, that's the audio video jack. If you notice here, it's got signals that make their way and they just go right into the blob here. So the AV, audio video signals coming straight out of the blob, goes right into this. I don't actually see any resistors in line with any of that. I mean, there's this and that, but I think that's just part of the LCD screen driver. So the blob is handling all the LCD stuff itself. I am fascinated again by this little module here, which actually has the ROMs installed on them. So it would be possible to actually desolder this and swap this out with something else. And look, it has a notch right there, as if this could be some kind of a large package IC as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if the USB, and yeah, notice how it has extra signals here, so I'm pretty sure that is for the extra controller input. Now they have these handy pads you can actually solder right onto here. If you want to hook up an extra controller, it is almost certainly possible. Now, unfortunately, when you're looking at the D-pad here and then the buttons, they actually just make their way right into the blob. So it's not like you could hook up an external controller by sending the shift register signals into this thing, because that would actually make this kind of cool. Like if you disconnect the LCD entirely and you just wire this right up into a TV, for instance, you could even have this like internal into a CRT or something. There you would need a way to connect up the buttons though to another controller. And if you could just use a regular NES controller, perfect, or a SNES controller. That does not seem to be the case. Now, if we remove this little foam pad that was under the LCD, we have markings here. So there it is again, 2023 revision 1020. Very shocked that this thing is not the same design that's just been floating around forever. We have 2 little LEDs here that do shine through the screen. I think one's for power, one is for charging. This one's kind of curious. This little connection pad here, like a test pad, comes out and goes right back in. And that's funny. I wonder, it's exposing some type of internal signal on this device. What's interesting as well is there are 4 buttons and 4 directions, but the original NES only has 2 buttons, and yet each one of the button pads here on both of these has a home run back into the blob here. So it's almost like it has the ability to support 4 buttons, but yet, only 2 are actually used. Anyhow, this thing is obviously extremely optimized, and that's how they get it down to that incredibly low price point. I'm really surprised to see this on here, but this whole thing is pretty amazing that this was $4 shipped to my door, built like this. It's not even horrible looking. Like the construction quality is fine on here. Totally shocked how not crap this actually is. I think the only really crap thing is this little LCD here, which isn't even that bad quality. It just has bad scaling on it. And that's clearly happening inside this package here, because there's no scaling in this little passive thing. And this thing is just connected straight into the blob. This blob is doing Everything, all in that one chip. Incredibly optimized and incredibly inexpensive. This frankly is a marvel right here, a marvel. In case you're wondering what type of screen it is, TY-96-9304, whatever that means. To reconnect the screen, you just slide it back in the connector there and then flip it down. That's it. And then that just sort of sits like that on these foam pieces. And there are the button membranes. Not super high quality, but it could be a lot worse, to be honest. And it's somewhat high precision. The buttons move well. The whole thing just, it works. Screws are back in. Pop the battery back in. And we should have a working system. There it is. Look at that. It freaking works. And we can fire up Super Mario Bros. 3 without the title screen. And this game, unlike one, which plays way too fast, this one plays at the correct speed. Oops, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Pushing the wrong buttons, everyone. And I'm trying to play through OBS. It's not great. Oh boy. Look at that screen tearing. It's so weird how it's so much tearing going on. I wonder if like the circuit that does the conversion is somehow different than the composite video, because this is not composite because it's really sharp, but the screen tearing is very interesting. You can really see it in some instances. So there we have it. I am totally amazed by this. I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I know these things are really cheap now, but when I bought this for $4 shipped, I just was assuming that so many corners were cut that this thing was an absolute piece of junk. Or I thought they would be selling old stock, the stuff that you could buy, you know, these ones years ago that were cheap, that had tons and tons of repeating games and things in there. But no, that doesn't seem to be the case. This is, like, what did it have? 318 games on it, actual individual games. Yes, almost entirely shovelware, but still a good number of the old original NES games that were still quality games. It just weren't the big expansive worlds, you know, that you got later on. Super Mario Bros. 3 is probably one of the most comprehensive big games that's on here. And it's interesting because it shows that this chip supports the mapper that game uses, which I forgot the name of it, MMC 1 or 3? I think it's maybe a 3. And lots of games use that mapper, meaning it would be possible to reflash that chip theoretically and actually change the games that are on here. Now, from a cool project hacking perspective, you could easily put this inside of a television. Now, we talked about the fact you can't just hook up a real NES controller to this, but what you could do is use a 9-pin cable and actually run it to each one of these buttons on here. There are only 8 buttons on the NES. The reset would have to be a button like on the TV, for instance, because that would be one button too many. You need probably ground and then 8 signal wires for up, down, left, right, the 2 A-B buttons, and then start and select. But then that would give you your external controller. You could probably run a real NES controller up to the second input, which I think is going to be on that USB jack there, and then do away with the LCD screen, and you'll have yourself a little built-in NES for $4, not including the cost of the controller. But to be honest, you can buy those clone NES controllers for really cheap now, like just a handful of dollars as well. And then you could have yourself a built-in NES. To be honest, I think that's a better use of this little thing than this package with this LCD screen. It's just a little bit too compromised with the way the screen looks and the tearing and the weird scaling and whatnot. But that composite output, very, very surprised. And it would be the ultimate in hacking to try to figure out how to swap the ROMs on here. Maybe it'd be possible to hook that thing up into like a MiniPro, theoretically. Would you be able to? Maybe you would be able to. Read the contents out of this one, erase it, and then program it with something else, something with a better selection than this. So then your TV's built-in games would be way cooler than what you have going on here. So anyhow, I am absolutely flabbergasted and shocked, if I haven't said it enough, at how not crap this actually is. So if you see one of these on sale and you want something just to fool around with, to hack into an old TV, I mean, seriously, find yourself a junk TV on the side of the road for free and hack this into it, hack in a controller, and then you got yourself a fun TV you can bring to a party or whatever and play games on. Like, how cool is that? I don't know. That seems pretty amazing. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up, the usual stuff. And yeah, I think that's going to be that. I don't know, not much else to say. Thumbs up, subscribe, you know, the usual stuff. Thanks to my patrons. Their names are scrolling beside the screen. Huge thanks to them. And I think I'm going to get to a mail call video now. This was a little bit of a distraction, and it was kind of a fun one. All right. Stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.